I found my professor's phone unlocked with the final exam open. What I did next got me a job offer I never expected. Last semester, I was taking Paris statistical analysis with Professor Davis, the notoriously tough department head who failed at least 30% of his students every semester. His final exam was legendary parent 5 hours, no breaks, and problems so complex that students would break down crying in the middle of it. 2 days before the final, I was studying late in the math building when I went to use the restroom. On the sink counter sat a phone in a worn leather case. The screen was unlocked and open to a document titled Stat 401 Phenol Excellence, SP Ring 2023. My heart nearly stopped. It was Professor Davis's phone with the upcoming final exam fully visible. I picked up the phone and my thumb accidentally scrolled, revealing all 5 pages of problems and solutions. In that moment, I had a choice most college students only dream about. Paired, I could take photos of the entire exam, memorize the solutions, or even just snap files of the hardest problems. No one would ever know. With that kind of advantage, I could ace the class that determined whether I graduated with honors. Instead, I pressed the power button, turning the screen off without looking further. I took the phone to the department office, which was about to close, and handed it to the evening secretary. Professor Davis left his phone in the men's restroom, I said. The screen was unlocked, so you might want to let him know to be careful with his personal information. She nodded and took the phone. That was it. I went back to my hopeless studying, resigned to probably getting a B at best. The next morning, I received an email from Professor Davis asking me to come to his office hours. My stomach dropped had the secretary mentioned my name. Did he somehow know I had seen the exam when I arrived? His typically stern face was unreadable. He closed the door and sat down. Miss Chen mentioned you returned my phone yesterday evening, he began. She also mentioned you specifically stated the screen was unlocked. I nodded, too nervous to speak. Were you aware of what was displayed on the screen? The question hung in the air, lying seemed pointless. Yes, Professor, it was open to the final exam. He leaned forward. And yet you didn't take advantage of that situation? No, sir. Why not? The question seemed genuine, not accusatory. I thought for a moment, because I want to earn my grades, even the bad ones, and because you spent your career developing these exams. It would be disrespectful to both of us if I cheated. He stared at me for what felt like minutes before speaking again. I've been teaching for 26 years, Miss Chen. In that time, I've had 3 students find my materials in compromising situations. You are the first who didn't take advantage. Then he did something I'd never seen before. Pear, he smiled. I've modified the exam, of course, but your integrity is remarkable. It was brutal as expected, but I did my best. When grades were posted, I had somehow earned an A. I assumed he had curved my grade as a silent thank you, but that wasn't all. Last week, I received an email from Professor Davis. He's leading a research project at a major tech company this summer, focusing on ethical applications of statistical modeling in AI. He offered me a paid position on his team. The postscript of his email read, in statistics, outliers are often discarded, but sometimes they're the most important data points of all. Some opportunities come from what you know, others come from who you prove yourself to be when no one's watching, or when you think they aren't.